Good morning, this is Dr. Barry Lewis and Dr. Jane Ackerman from chiropractichelp.com. Welcome to our site. We're going to test this morning a difficult and very subjective test called Adsons test for an impingement here in the neck. The brachial plexus is a group of 5 nerves plus the subclavian artery pass through a narrow triangle here known as the thoracic outlet, and they pass down here between some muscles, the first rib and the collarbone, through this narrow gap before passing down the arm. An entrapment of this nerve vascular complex is very common in the syndromes that we see in the arm, particularly conditions like carpal tunnel syndrome and many of the shoulder conditions like rotator cuff syndromes and frozen shoulders. It's a controversial test and it's a very subtle test, and it's one that you would probably only be able to do confidently after a long period of time. What we're going to do is we're going to restrict the size of that space and at the same time feel the pulse in the arm. I do it with the arm in front, though classically the test is done here, but I find that almost everybody seems to have a positive test then, so you get many false positives. So I do it with the arm here. So first of all you take and you look for a strong radial pulse. If you're unable to find a strong radial pulse, you can't do this test. So I have located the radial pulse here. I can feel it pulsating very strongly. Now I'm going to ask Dr. Ackerman to do two things. Turn her head to the right. I'm going to ask her to look up, and I'm going to ask her to take in a deep breath and to hold the breath, and I'm feeling what's happening to the pulse. There's no change. But let's assume there was a change. For me, for a positive test, the pulse must return when she breathes out and brings her head back to normal. She had quite a normal test, and you may want to repeat it in the non-symptomatic arm to see if there's any difference. This is a test called Adsons test for an impingement in the thoracic outlet, commonly causing what is known as a thoracic outlet syndrome. Thank you. Dr. Barry Lewis from chiropractichelp.com.